We're almost done. It is Thursday of budget week, and today you can see it already. We are doing blue red, which means we have one more deck tomorrow. What do you guys think it's going to be? We're going back to the replays first, followed up with the deck list, and I just want to say quickly thank you, Patreons. Your support directly funds a lot of the giveaways we do on the channel, such as the one you guys can see already. Links down below if you're interested in that. But anyway, we're here for this deck. So, we are playing red-blue. We are going first against Amethyst Steel. So, Pooh, Mickey, Develop, Tala, Heart, Maui, and Popsicle. We have our Heart with the Rush. Oops, sorry about that, guys. We have our Popsicles our turn 1. So we hit a Be Prepared, a Maui, another Queen, and a Manor with a Fish Hook. Popsicle draws into the best card we could have drew there. We see our opponent ink a Benja, which is interesting being against the deck that he's against because item, removal is pretty good. Just to play a card, I know losing the rush aspect isn't quite nice, but if we wait, it'd be 2 more turns before it's useful. And as it show has it, Razul has 3 willpower anyway. So it works out, especially because then we can sing the 1 jump ahead and we can start our ramp a little bit quicker. So we're up to 4. We got Manor and Hiram as our plays next turn. We have Scar and Be Prepared also threatening in our hand. I apologize. It is really, really dry in here today. He quests with Razul, which instead of, say, challenging and just taking out my queen, put me on the challenge into him. And we're going to take it. And we have another queen that we could end up playing soon. Hiram, we can go ahead, pop that Popsicle, draw 2 cards. We hit Let It Go and Grammatala. We're going to ink Grammatala and pass turn back. Not necessarily interested in questing to outpace our opponent. That's just not how this deck works. And again, he inks a Benja. Very interesting. He bounces the Raz, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I guess you'd usually bounce the Maleficent because you can get an additional draw off of it. We go Develop Your Brain. And it's between Mickey or Be Prepared. We already have Scar and Be Prepared, so let's go Mickey and help ramp a little bit faster. Now I'm like, what do we want to do? We're just going to pass turn here. We're ahead on ink, so being not inking for 1 turn isn't going to be the end of the world. Oops, sorry about that. We're going to ink the Grammatala we just drew, and now we can play Let It Go to remove the fox from the board. He's sitting on the rabbit and a very, very big hand. We see Robin Hood get inked. We don't have any items for our Flavisham, and he sings the friends on the other side. So we're playing the ramp deck, and we're actually behind on the ink now. However, we have Be Prepared, so if he can go wide here and make it worth it, we can really punish our opponent. Waiting to see. We do draw an item, so we can go ahead instead go Mickey, ramp up a little bit, play our flower, quest, pop the flower, which is just a healing tool / draw engine, hit a Winnie, hit Popsicle. So now we can go ahead, have another item for next turn to get 2 more draws. We ink the Winnie the Pooh, play the Popsicle, hit another Mickey, playing Pooh and the Mickey Mouse Detectives because, again, budget build. Then we see Benja finally enter the field of play, gets rid of our draw there. He's able to deal with our Hiram via Razul and Smash. We draw into another Be Prepared, so it's like, okay, let's go ahead, Be Prepared. But before we do that, let's quest with our Mickey, get most use out of it, and now we can Be Prepared. We're both sitting with 4 in hand now. His rabbit will draw him a 5th. So we're still a little behind in advantage, but we still have Scar and another Be Prepared. So it's like, if he goes wide again, we're actually sitting pretty good. We hit a Madame Medusa, which is going to be really nice. We go Mickey and McDuck. So now we have a passive way to gain some lore, and we can drop Be Prepared to help protect it, if you will. Along Came Zeus, however, comes down and deals 5 damage. Mim Fox, I guess, could finish it off here too. So Quest, Mim Fox, Bounce, Rabbit, Take Out Manor would be a pretty good play. We ink there, and he passes turn. So not quite what I was expecting. Debating how we want to go ahead and do our turn now. We quest, we go Scar. Scar can take out the rabbit, ready himself, and then take out the Maleficent as well. He's going to draw the card off the rabbit and then re-ready himself again. So we can then play our flower and remove 3 damage from him. Smee's not enough to take out the manor on its own, so it's going to stick around for at least one more turn. Scar also being able to deal with more threats. However, Zeus takes out the Scar, which leaves the manor. Deal 3 to the manor. And then Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood, comes down. We have Madame Medusa, however. So Smee gets inked. His other Smee on board. We're going to lose our manor, but we can play, say, Madame Medusa, but instead we go Be Prepared, get rid of everything, see if he comes back with just like 1 card, playing our flower just to get it on board. And he does come back with another Robin Hood, which works out really well for us. We're kind of just protecting our manor at this point, and it's working really well. Madame Medusa is just so good, and the fact that you can play her in a budget build feels really nice. So Smee comes down, he's going to deal 2 damage, draw a card, deal 2 more damage, draw a card, and we lose our Medusa, get 2 more off the manor. Oh, he's got bosses on a roll, which is actually pretty good in this position to help fix your hand and your draws and gain a lore in the process. Our manor is all but going to be gone after this turn because it only needs 1 more hit, and we're going to go to 13 still in the process and waiting to see what is our draw, and we draw Hiram. Wow, that never happens to me. We never draw the card we need when we need it. So we can go ahead, Hiram, pop the Tefiti, draw 2 more. We hit another Hiram, play Mickey, ramp again, and then we can pass turn back. So we got Hiram, we got more draw. Smee takes that out. We can go now to 14 because he smashed and took out Mickey. 1 damage on the Smee. We get Dragonfire, which takes out the goat. He's going to go to 8. His Smee's not going to do anything here because he can, Smee into Hiram, put 3 damage on it. And then what? You put 3 damage on it. We 1 jump, build our ink up more. And then you're exerted, so you're gone in the end phase. Storm Rage on, draw a card. Just kind of seeing what our opponent all went through. And he quests with it. Bounce, right? So that works really well. That's a pretty good draw off your card. So Fox, and then Smee comes back down. We draw a Popsicle because we're just too good at this game. We play a Hiram, pop the Popsicle, draw 2 more cards, still at 7. So we could say now use a Scar we just drew, take out the Fox. Or you could have, say, Medusa, take out the Smee. So 10 to 4, another Zeus to deal with another Scar. Luckily, we still have that Medusa for the Smee. So at 14 to 12, play it, pop it. We go to 15. We have Maui, Gaston, playing the Gaston, which means we have lethal in hand. So he has to deal with something on our board, and there's nothing in his deck that can do it. So we can quest, 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 and we happen to get paired back up with a rematch. That Robin Hood not quite working, but again, does not matter. 1 jump, Grammatala. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Going second this time. It's like, what do you want to keep? It's uninkable, so I was really, really debating it. But I'm like, I want to ramp and get to Be Prepared. So whether it was a smart choice or not, that's the plan. We're going to ramp and go to Be Prepared. We don't have a 1-drop. We're going to get rid of the Fish Hook. His Robin Hood's going to sit for right now. Drawing into another Be Prepared is actually interesting because it's kind of dependent on do we get hit with the whole new world. So we play the Popsicle, draw a Pooh. Now we can ink a Tafiti and pass turn back. Our opponent actually is set up pretty well. Doesn't come down with the Shift Robin Hood just yet. Instead comes down with the Benja, which is going to get rid of that Popsicle. So he learned from his first game. And, well, that's kind of what you do against Ruby Sapphire. You cut off that draw engine and you suffocate the deck. So inks the Robin Hood. I'm still expecting a big Robin Hood to get shifted down here. So goes to 8, goes to 9. He didn't do it, which is really interesting. Bounce the Benja so he can reuse the Benja to get rid of the Tafiti. We're going to get at least one use out of it, ramp up to 6, which means next turn, Be Prepared. So Benja comes down, gets rid of the Tafiti. Quest. We're down 13-0. Maleficent gets inked. Would have been really nice if he had a 2-drop there. However, he doesn't, so it's okay still. Yeah, so Be Prepared board wipes everything, and it's so dependent now on does he have the perfect cards in hand. Rabbit is a pretty good card to have in hand. Inka Benja, come down with a Razul. So we can play our Manor, play our Pooh, get some threats on board to start getting lore. We have Be Prepared, we have Develop Your Brain, and Gaston. Our opponent goes to 15. Boss is on a roll, is going to fix his hand again, or fix his draws, which very strong in this position. Gaining him a lore, also very, very strong in this position. If he plays that last card, we're in a better spot. He does not, so we go to 2. Then we can Pooh, go to 4. We don't need to use the effect. Be Prepared, because I like every card in my hand. Draws off the Rabbit, draws for turn, and then comes down with Maleficent and draws again. So unfortunately, his hand being pretty good with just loaded up on draw cards. 16-4, we're up to 6 now, but we have Gaston we can put down. We can put down Develop Your Brain. We can put down a Manor. We have options to play here. We go Gaston, and we actually could hit a Scar potentially to deal with his board, so we go that route. Develop Your Brain, we hit a Dragonfire, which also going to be very helpful. And Merlin Goat comes down, which is very, very unfortunate this late into the game. And then Mim Fox goes and bounces the Goat. He goes to 18. Quest with Maleficent. He's got the Goat in hand. So unfortunately, we already know how this game's going to go. Or how it's going to goat, if you will. So we were down 15-0, came back to 11. And if not for that Goat, well, he'd be at 17 right now with not a Goat in hand. And we would have came back with the Scar and had a at least fighting chance to win that game still. We don't have to win every game on the channel, however. It's been a bit since we showcased a loss, but we had a match versus one opponent. Best of 2 is how the challenges work, so we would have got 1 point for our 1-1 draw. This deck does come in with 17 uninkables, and due to the cost shift, we are actually over budget once again. We were under budget yesterday, so this fluctuates a little bit, and we're still close to that $100 budget that we aim for. We are playing 12 1-drops. We're heavy in the 3s, heavy in the 4s. We have 4 Queen of Hearts as our 2-drop. We have 4 Mickey, 4 Winnie. These are your ramping tools because Fishbone Quill just costs too much to fit into this budget build. 4 Grammatala to help tutor out cards out of your deck. 4 Hiram because he's mandatory in this deck and he's your draw engine. 2 Mauis. It came down to Maui or Fishhook, and we went with Maui to deal with your opponent's board. 2 Madame Medusas. Could have potentially, say, took out the 2 Mauis, put in Fishhook, 2 Fishhooks, would have had another Medusa maybe, or even a Lady Tremaine. Potentially could have did something like that. 3 Gaston, the card's just absolutely crazy. 2 Scars, because dealing with your opponent's boards can be very efficient. 2 Tamatoa, because we are still playing a bunch of items, but say we cut the 2 Maui and the 2 Tamatoa, that would have freed up enough to play what? 4 Fishbone Quill, or even like 3 Quill, another Medusa. So maybe that would have been a better route. Let our other characters be the heavy hitters. We have the 1 Dragonfire, which was very helpful. 4 Develop Your Brain. Some removal. We have the Let It Go. 3 Be Prepareds. 2 1 Jump Aheads for ramping, being uninkable. And yeah, so maybe we should have played more of this and less Mickey, but Mickey gives you board presence at the same time. We're playing 4 Golden Flower, 4 Popsicle, 2 Fishhook, and 4 Tafiti as our item engine. Tafiti also being a ramp tool. And then 4 McDuck Manors were our final card. So, budget week rolling on down. That's Thursday. We have one more left. Again, let me know down below, what deck do you think it's going to be. Until next time, guys, like, share, subscribe, comment down below.